Yes, it's okay. Keep it short and sweet.
All right. I will record.
Yes, it's okay. Keep it short and sweet.
All right. Hi everybody, welcome. Let me introduce you to my good friend Samuel Pilka.
Yes, I've got some echo coming from you. Just so you know.
I hear that. Samuel Pilka. I don't know why.
Yes, I've got some echo coming from you.
I hear that. Samuel Pilka. I don't know why.
Yes, I've got some echo coming from you.
Oh my God. I don't know why.
Yes, I've got some echo coming from you. And it keeps going in circles.
I hear it.
And it keeps going in circles.
So how about now?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but now I had to close the Facebook, so now I don't see what happens over there if anyone wants to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So anyhow, we will do it like that. So we'll start all over, everybody. Sorry, technical issues. Let me introduce you. It's my pleasure. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm so happy, which is today's topic, to introduce you to Sam Pilka, a good friend of mine, and also a coaching colleague. So, welcome, Sam.
Welcome everyone.
Maybe you want to tell your own story, your own introduction.
Okay, so I'm Samuel Pilka. As you said, we're colleagues because we met over 3 years ago in, I think, for Los Angeles, doing our Dream Builder course together. And that was an amazing experience. I still remember you standing in front of me and giving me your card. And he was saying Vision One Love, and I got really attracted to that. that was how we met. And yes, coaching is what the future is about for me as well. And I was really pleased to accept your invitation to be here with people and just to say what we could offer. And obviously, topic we chose it's I think the best topic in the world we can have. Everyone wants to be happy.
Exactly.
On Monday, I guess, on Tuesday probably. Would you want to be happy on Wednesday? I think we all want to be happy all the time. So love it.
So what makes you happy, Sam, if I might ask?
Well, I practice a lot of things, and I think that the first insight about happiness came from practicing, little things, and noticing that that I can be happy many times in a day. It doesn't happen all the time, to maintain happiness. As we are humans, and we obviously get affected. And sometimes we forget, that we're living a life right now in present moment, and we go to the past and to the future, to all these stories, judgments, opinions, and we lose ourselves. So the whole pleasure in practicing is practicing, and I took that on, and I love it. It's been ongoing process for me to practice to do little happiness things here and there, and yeah, learn about happiness in general, because it's something to be discovered.
Yeah, happiness is now. It's not tomorrow. You cannot be happy tomorrow. I mean, and when we string happiness together, we make a happy life.
That's true. Well, what was meant, like, we want to be happy all the time, which is obviously we want to be happy tomorrow and we want to be happy every day, and that's what we were striving for, correct?
Exactly, but also to have the happiness in the moment, right?
But that's ideal situation, and the question is, how we do that and where do we
Yeah.
start?
How do we do it? How do we start? What
Well,
is
we can talk about this all day and all night. We've got 45 minutes. I guess that's what you said you will take for the interview. So I would say there is a few things that we could kind of point, to people who are actually interested in maybe starting to connect to what it is happiness and what it means to be happy, and if they are or not happy, what's actually stopping them from being happy and having the life they want. So I guess we will probably look into
if
few
you
things.
are if you are in a really low vibration and you feel sad or angry or depressed, or you just complain about life or something like that, but you really, really long for being happy, what would you suggest the person to do?
Well, we
Say what?
often
Yeah.
we often forget ourselves, and we go into these places. I've been there myself. And it's not an easy place to be, because once we're down there, we kind of in a will uh, whirlpool of thoughts. We having like 60,000 thoughts a day on average as a human beings, and 60% of them are negative, on average. So once we get into spiral of having negative thoughts and being down, it's like, what do we do? It's, even if we know sometimes what we do, it's not an easy to do it, and the practicing stuff gives us awareness to catch ourselves in the moment, and put something in place, because otherwise it's ongoing thing. We can stay there for very, very long, obviously. We don't want to stay there for long, because if, for example, we would treat ourselves as our children, how long would we want them to stay down there? For as little as possible. So we could do this to ourselves as well, like really notice, like, I'm down. We are
It's a matter
accepting
of
what's.
awareness, right?
Yes, you
You don't
just
know
start
it,
having
you
some
don't
awareness. You
change it.
connect, and sometimes connecting to something like this. Like, you know what will I do if I was a child? Would I want to suffer? Would I want to stay there for long? And for example, for me, that was very, very nice kind of reminder when I'm down. Like, come on, I look at actually at my little boy Ryan, 3-year old, and I can see that in him, and it's amazing, how quickly he can get himself out of the whirlpool of the drama, and oh, I can't, like he had yesterday, and 3, 4, 5 minutes, and he was out, and he was just happy child again. So if they can do it, we definitely can do it.
What did you do?
Well, I guess he didn't have as many negative thoughts about himself. He didn't judge himself. He didn't actually put himself even more down by kind of, putting himself down by maybe using the negative words about ourselves, about our own worth and stuff like that. So I think with children, it's like they have emotions, something happens, and they quickly learn how to deal with that, and just let it go. They don't have, I think, analyzing system for saying, oh, that I shouldn't be like this. This is not good, and all that kind of stuff that happens to us. The thoughts just follow the thoughts, and as long as they're negative, the next negative thought will come, and it's again ongoing spiral. So yeah, finding the practice that will settle us.
So what's
And
one actual practice you could do? I mean, you stay there and allow yourself to experience whatever negativity you have. Do you have some affirmations or a mantra, or do you go running? I mean, what is some actual practice or exercise you can do to experience happiness by shifting?
I hear what you say. I hear what you say. Well, we obviously would want to have a like quick fix,
Yeah,
like everyone does. But once we were often down there, we cannot really suddenly fix ourselves and go right to happiness. It's a process, and there are a few kind of practices that we could try. For example, one of them will be, when we're really upset about something, we can ask ourselves a question. What am I thinking? It's I feel, you can say I feel unhappy, I feel down, and if we ask ourselves what I'm actually thinking about, and what's underneath, what's really cause of this unhappiness, and not feeling the way we want, and then we can find out really what's there, and that would be good practice. That would be an amazing question to ask. And for example, if we notice that we angry at someone, then the practice could be, just to acknowledge that we're angry, and even maybe just practice to be angry, like, be 3 times as loud. If you can't express anger, for example, just say, I'm really angry with that person. I really, and really kind of be with the emotion. And sometimes when we get there, we raise our vibration automatically, because the anger is better vibration than where we usually are when we're depressed, because we express the feeling that it's higher. And from there we could just like maybe let go, and another positive thought will come, and then we get slowly out of the lowest vibration we're having. So there is many. um, for me, basically, when I'm down, it's like, it's not the best fix, because I'm a little bit addicted to dopamine, and dopamine is obviously the hormone of happiness that I get from little things, and very often these are outside things, like I outsource happiness from outside. And many people do that. We just get little things. I go to see my plants, or I just start cooking something, or I do some, I don't know, breathing exercise, or I've practiced recently, calming myself down with yeah, relaxation practice, which is the silver method. I love that. It was just perfect for me. So there are a few things that I do, to raise my vibration, and to just actually calm my mind, calm myself, because I think this is the place, the peace, inner peace is the place that we need to get into, to actually start feeling happiness again.
exactly. When I meditate, I always get happy when I'm in contact with who I truly am, and with the universal powers. I mean, the infinite power, these source. But sometimes it's even hard to do that.
Yeah, I guess meditation is obviously, again, practice that we could learn to do, and we can meditate, every day, at any time, technically, because it takes 3 minutes to meditate. If we practice enough, when how to do it, we can just settle ourselves, settle our mind, take a deep breath, and connect to this inner peace. And once we're peaceful, we will definitely have an opportunity to reconnect with what we want, with happiness, with good feelings. So meditation is an amazing opportunity to reconnect with happiness.
Do you
I agree.
believe that techniques like uh, thinking about your own successes in life, and happy memories, and practicing gratitude, because those can be quick fixes, do you believe they last in the long run? You know, or,
um,
or do you believe you should actually just allow these lower vibrations to frequencies to be there, or how do you look at it?
I mean, managing our frequency, our vibration. It's important practice to even learning, what it actually is. What do you mean, Lisa, by by raising my vibration? Once we get a bit of knowledge about it, we can find things that work for us, and everyone's got slightly different preference, what they want to do, and I've tried different things, and I said that one method clicked with me, and I really love it, and it takes seconds for me to get perfect full relaxation, and all my body goes like, in this amazing state. And it really takes like 5 seconds now after a little practice. So, finding something that works for people is really important. And that's why, we always invite people to try something, to invest, to the time technically, and maybe sometimes even money, because unless we start taking some actions and digging in and discovering, we will never do anything. We will think about it, and we will never take action, which is the pitfall of most of us. Like, we want things, but nothing happens. So yeah,
Yeah, because we don't
100%
go for them.
invitation. Yeah, and technically, we are ready for discovering what we really want, and who we are, and what's important for us, and what it means for me to be happy, because we all want the same thing, as a humans, we all want, like pleasantness within, and we want pleasantness, around. That's what we all really want, and that is a kind of, you know in our bodies, for example, we're always looking for health, which is what all we all want, to be healthy, and we want to have a pleasure. That's the body. If, for example, in our mind, we want to have a joy and peaceful mind. That's why people say, peace of mind. We all want that, and in our emotions, we want love. Underneath of everything is like, we craving for love, and we craving for compassion. That's what we really want. And what else there is? Our energy, which is your favorite topic. In our energy, we want, the bliss, we want the blissfulness and ecstasy. We just want to feel the energy, and everyone wants it, whatever they want, whether they work or, at home. We all want that, and yeah, this is technically all people want. And unfortunately, we don't get really what we want. We get, what we are. So interesting is, like, if you really want to have a peace or joy, we have to be joyful. So we are human beings being joyful. When we could generate that, that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, we live in the world of polarities. One has to exist to have the other. Do you believe that we can actually just tip it over, so we only have happiness, we only have gratitude, we only feel compassion, and or do you believe that we can have more of that, or do you believe that we always have to have it equally, or what is your belief about happiness and
I
feeling?
mean, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be happy all the time, and as I said, we all really want that. It's just like, for us to start with would be to obviously recognize, how we sourcing our happiness, because most people actually outsource happiness from outside, from people and from circumstances. Like, if I get that job, I'll be happy. If she likes me, I'll be happy. And we get often, trapped, that we actually, are outsourcing our happiness from these little things. And that happiness it's okay, but it's not stable. It's just a little illusion of happiness. By allowing other people and circumstances to decide about happiness, we're not in control of that happiness. So how do we actually get the control of the happiness? And I keep stressing this to people, that the practice is, it's something we need to do. We need to practice something to get somewhere. It doesn't happen just like that. The breakthroughs happen like that, and we've got a few breakthroughs in our lifetime here and there, and they're amazing. But on daily basis, only practice is what will give us what we want. If you want to learn piano, we need to practice. No one was born, maybe few people were born like, like with amazing hearing and, and talent, but most of
They
people
still
need
have
to
to
practice.
practice, so
Yeah, and few practices would be, for example, one practices that we could take on, and I invite everyone to do it, is to actually stop outsourcing the happiness from people and from circumstances. Like it would be technically like the practice of stopping blaming other people on what happens to us. Like it's such a tendency to do that. I mean, I was there. I've done that. I was like, oh my god, it was all her fault. And obviously being there, I never had a peaceful mind, and I never had a happiness in me. It just even if the circumstances were good, I could not find happiness. Like, because I was all this kind of like really really angry inside, and and I could not really, even if I had a good time, I was unhappy. So practice of stopping blaming people and stopping outsourcing the happiness from outside would be amazing practice.
how do you really, really become happy from the inside, Samuel? And also for the people watching here, if you have any questions for Samuel, because I am hooked up here on Facebook on my phone, so I can actually read if something happens there. So please ask some questions if you have anyone. Yeah, how do you really, really find the happiness within without? Because as you mentioned, you can be happy for this and that on the outside, but the true happiness comes from within.
Mm.
Do it with meditation, but I mean, how do you really, I mean, really get into that?
I mean, we really have to have some sort of understanding to start with. That's why I keep inviting people to obviously to get into this kind of things, to really see what it means for them. But in general, I would say that the happiness within comes from the understanding that happiness, excuse me, and unhappiness, they are states of mind, and therefore the causes of them cannot be found outside of our mind. It's all within us. And when people get that,
So it's a
they
matter of perspective. Is that
it
what?
is it is I agree, yeah, the matter of perspective, but having that understanding that this is what it is, that's how where the happiness and unhappiness exists. We can actually tap into that and say, okay, so in that case, what I'm doing, it's not working. Like, where I'm looking for happiness, it's a wrong place. So, but unless we have that knowledge, we don't know what we're doing very often. We want it, we really want this and that, and like, where do I start? So
Exactly.
that's why
Where
we
do
came
you
with that,
start? Where do you
with
start?
the
I
top.
mean, we can actually be happy for all the bad shit also that we don't like. I mean, if we look for the happiness in the stuff that we're not happy about, because
That
we can
could be, yeah.
always, I mean, we can always find something good in everything. So I mean, if you really look at this, whatever mood or state of mind you're in, and you look at it and you really look for the good in it, you can become happy from there maybe. But I mean, yeah, you really have to be aware if you're going to do that work.
Yeah, I mean, this is ongoing things. Once we tap into this sort of work, and into finding ourselves, and what do I really want, to have a good happy life, we will obviously find our own ways. It's like a tree. There's so many branches, so many different schools, so many different coaches and coachings, and there is a mind coaches and body coaches and music dance coaches, and all sorts of little things. And obviously there is many factors that are involved that we just don't really have much control of. As I said, maybe the hormones. If we're constantly looking for little things, we get addicted to dopamine, which is the happiness hormone, and we just get that, and it goes down and it goes up. So this is like what do we do then? And obviously only the knowledge that the oxytocin is the hormone of real hormones of happiness, and that comes from a different place. That comes from really deep bond with people, deep bond with being connected, and long term kind of like happiness hormone. So once we know that, we can just say, aha, okay, so how do I do that? And we start digging in, and then we find really something to practice to to work on this hormone, which will definitely change our lives. But unless we know, what do we do? So I had the same issue. I never took any coaching, anything, till I was 40 something, and then my life collapsed, everything fell apart, and then I woken up saying, okay,
I
so
stop, surrender.
so and yeah, I love it. I never regretted investing a penny in myself, because it was such a journey, and yeah, I'm happy to pass it on. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, I know that you're gonna offer also some complimentary study sessions for the people on this call. So
Only if they're ready.
that's is it 1 hour session, 45 minutes or something?
It could be, yeah, 45 to 1 hour, correct?
Yeah, so then you will dive into the happiness part, or how will that look? Is that what's the
Yeah, I
coaching?
mean, well, what I discovered kind of myself is like, and I started digging into that even deeper, is like the Dream Builder, which is the program that I offer, is really an amazing program to get people really connected to what they really want and what would make their life work. Because very often, partially as well, the reason of being unhappy is that we don't follow our dreams. We deep inside know what will give us life. We know what would have to happen for us to wake up in the morning and just put the clothes and just skip the breakfast and just crack on and do it, but we don't do it. And as a coaches, we obviously can help people to find out what is actually happening, what's stopping them from going there, from doing that. And Dream Builder is obviously a process when you build your blueprint of your life, and you calibrate it, and you work on it, whether this is really yours or your mom's, or that you can actually find out, what you really, really, really want. And then the whole process of Dream Builder is to help you to for this to become reality. So we build a dream and we come from the dream. We don't go to the dream. We come from there, and it's an amazing journey.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the journey myself. But I mean, so you mean that if people were doing what they truly, truly wanted to do all the time, they would be happy. That's what you're saying.
There is many factors that I actually that generate our happiness. And as I said, there is our hello Ryan, I have a visitor.
Mhm.
um there is many things that happen in our bodies and in our minds, in our thinking, that we kind of notice when we're happy or unhappy, and we need to work on certain things to establish who we are around happiness, and what really works for us, because it won't be all the time. Only really monks practice enough to be kind of full of love and full of this peace, where the happiness really lays there, peacefully. Like, when you squeeze the monk, it's like an orange. I think Wayne Dyer said that, when you squeeze the mango, the juice, the orange juice will come out. It is pure love. When you squeeze me, there will be anger, there will be resentment, there will be some kind of issues with doctors, and all sorts of stuff will come out. So, coming to practicing being peaceful inside, it's what really takes to connect to happiness on ongoing basis. And you notice very often when people are peaceful, when they really have this, you know, this blissful, mind, they, they're happy. They just don't need to buy something. They don't need a compliment. They just happy. And
So
we
being peaceful within is the key to happiness. Is that what you believe?
so sorry, say again.
Being peace, to have peace of mind, to be in this quiet space from the inside is the key to happiness.
Yes, peaceful and positive state of mind. And if we practice that, if we have a peaceful and positive state of mind, we will notice that the happiness is there. It's like we realize. I think for people to realize, because we know it. It's not a rocket science. We've heard it. We know how to be happy, and we technically know, but knowing doesn't make any difference.
So if you have a person living in a dysfunctional relationship, for instance, maybe now I'm just making up a story here. You have this person living in a really dysfunctional relationship with arguments all the time. This person maybe put you down also and tell you that you're shit, you're worthless and useless, and you argue and you go to this work that you don't even like. You just go for the money and it's not good there either. I mean, how can you find this peace of mind and happiness in those situations, do you think?
Well, finding yourself in that kind of situation it's never a good thing. It's a difficult situation. I get that, but I know already that unless there is like abuse, really relationship, abusive relationship, when someone is just losing it, maybe it's time to go. But when there is a relationship where things don't work, when there are sort of expectation. I mean, these people, when they met, they didn't feel that way. They didn't have that. They probably were in love. They really enjoyed being with each other, and there was some sort of connection, and it was there. So they can have it. They already had it. And question is like, something happened. What happened? And in that kind of relationship, even one person can make a difference. We don't need to have two people to go into growth and development, or working on themselves to change the relationship. Because when we really change ourselves, the partner needs to change. If he's not going to accept our positive change, they will leave. They will just have to, they will just say, oh, you're weird or something. And but if they notice that we're changing in a good way, they will change. And that happens very often. We just don't allow ourselves to work on ourselves to improve the relationship. So I strongly recommend to everyone to just really take their own lives in their own hands and practice something.
So how do you
Even
do that
practice
if you
great.
don't have the energy? Because I mean, I also have come from a life that wasn't so happy, and it's not so easy to get that rocket fuel who help you get going, or even the energy to. I mean, if you have a lot of stressful moments in your reality, in your living daily life, I mean, do you have any tips, like this, something really, really small to actually get the energy to make something out of it? Because I think maybe a lot of people maybe even just gave up to life, to whatever circumstances are going on.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like very often, when partner, is upset with something, or angry, or the relationship is it's bad. I think again what's missing very often is understanding. Why all this is happening, and we need to have a knowledge to be able to deal with stuff. Otherwise, we're in the dark. We don't know what to do. And for example, for me, the good tip was that when someone is angry, with something, they actually don't respond to us. Like, it's nothing to do with us. They are angry, and we are just, we're just observing it. they dealing with something. So they don't really respond to us. They respond to their own, ongoing, thing in their heads. And the same is for us. We don't respond to them. We respond to our own feelings and reactions, and it's on our side. So we can really work on ourselves, and we can get, a peaceful, even in the situations where the other person goes mad. But we need understanding, that this is possible.
Because that's how it actually is. Whatever you do and whatever you say, it has nothing to do with me.
Mm.
What I do and say has to do with me. But it's not so easy maybe to remember that when you're arguing, or if it's, I mean, nothing what's going on out there has anything to do with us, except that it comes from us also. But if we realize that, then we can work on the happiness as well, I guess.
Yeah, can you imagine that people can be still happy in these moments of like massive disasters? Like they've got cancer and they've got 2% chances, and they're happy. They're
Exactly.
happy that they have 2% chances. Two is better than zero, and they're happy. And they're happy anyway. They're happy that they're still alive, and they can be. They're dying and they're still happy. So we can do it. That kind of relationship, with a partner, it's not end of the world. It can be really, blissful again.
You
Be
believe
having.
these, you believe these people have some kind of support to actually have this mindset?
Yeah, there is many things that they can do. Obviously, for me, was what was working really was I did a course called Landmark Forum, um, in London, and it just completely changed my mind, my life, and actually my mind. I was like, the way I was looking at the world and the way I was looking the world after the weekend, it was completely two different worlds. So there are places to go, but we really need to dig in and ask for help. And very often we allow ourselves to ask for help when it's too late, when things, go wrong. I'm inviting people to do before it goes wrong. Do it now. Do it anytime. Just do it. It's uncomfortable, but it's not difficult, and it could be easy.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow never comes anyway. I mean, everything that we put in the future will never come. I will do it when I get older, or when the children leave, or when I get money, or when over there.
You often say that, yes.
Never gonna come anyway.
Hmm.
So doing it now is the only time we have, right?
Well, I think everyone agrees.
Yeah, I think also it's really interesting because everything is now. I mean, and all this happiness that we are the creators of or not creators of. I mean, we've been touching perspective. We've been touching the inner peace. We've been touching a lot of different angles to actually become happy.
Hmm.
But we have to become happy now. We cannot breathe tomorrow. We cannot breathe yesterday. So how do we put it all together, to actually, I mean, we can look for the good in all the situations, no matter what happens. We can do all these exercises. So which one do you think is the best exercise of all?
I would say, the best exercise that I would say would give people, instant and embodied kind of like emotion, and from that we will take a different action. It's a meditation, because we can really learn to meditate, and do it straight away wherever we are, and it takes like 5 minutes, and we can really, peace ourselves, like, and then after our kind of like, yeah, the flight and fight, brain stop working, and the brain start working in the way that we can actually talk to ourselves, or get someone to talk to us. We can have a different conversation. um so I would say probably meditation.
I
Learn to
agree.
but in the meditation, in a way that it really is like, we're really concentrating on finding the peace, and the positive, attitude. Like when we really concentrate on this, and we can reset ourselves in 5 minutes. How great would that be if everyone
Well,
knew how to do
I
it?
believe we can, because if we breathe, we can only breathe now. So if we breathe, we automatically are in the present moment. And if we manage to be in the present moment, maybe a lot of the stuff that makes us unhappy disappears, because it's mostly tomorrow I'm worried about what will happen, and this shit that happened 10 years ago makes me angry. That's most often how it is.
Yes,
So then
yes,
maybe we can make this shift by practicing,
yes.
of course.
We
This
keep
is,
going to the past and to the future most of the time. We're
yeah,
very rarely present.
yeah,
It's all about what happened and what's going to be, what's happened, what's going to be. And we just flick,
exactly.
flick, flick. But really, the present moment is, oh, there is a butterfly on the flower. That's the present moment. We cut ourselves in a moment, and we in now. And, I noticed that sometimes it happened, once a day when I was actually like, I noticed something. I wasn't doing this. I was like, and yeah, we want more of that. Obviously, the more we have, the happier we will be.
Of course, of course. So do you believe that we can be happy all the time? If we are really aware, if we only look for the positive, and if we practice all these things, do you believe that we can have this one polarity, or
It,
what was it, one side of the polarity,
it is,
like the monks, for instance? Do you believe they?
but we never become a monks. We're human beings. We're working. We've got children. Things happen. So I guess we will never achieve that full happiness on non-stop. We will be out reactivated and bringing ourselves back and it's a practice. What would have to happen is we need to practice, and practice is the key to anything. If we want something in life and we want it badly, we need to practice. And
So during a strategy conversation with you, a strategy session that you're offering to the people here, what will be the outcome? Will they feel happier after?
well, obviously, as I said, the dream builder is for people who are really I don't know, maybe even fed up with what's happening, and they really want to take the brave step, and just do something about it, and I think after strategy setting, people have a little bit more clarity of what they want, and do they really want it, or they just saying they want it, because we need to choose. Very often, unless we choose, it's nothing is happening. So we need to choose. Even happiness, we need to choose. So I think strategy session is definitely a time 100% dedicated to you, and you will get clarity of what's important to you, and whether you really want it, and whether you
So
whether
if
you
I'm interested in this strategy session that you have complimentary or for free, to have another word for it, how do I contact you? I will write it here in the chat box.
Yeah, I think the easiest is these days to send an email to Coach Samuel Pilka.
Samuel, Coach Samuel Pilka.
Yeah, at gmail.com.
Coach Samuel Pilka, one word.
Correct.
Pilka at gmail.com. Like that. So
Exactly.
everybody can see it here. We're recording this also. Perfect. So do you have a, a web page as well, if people want to see what you're up to? They want to know
The
more about you.
the web page is in construction.
Ah,
I have a Facebook group that people can join, and
what's the name so what, do you have the link to to your Facebook group?
yeah, it's the same name, Coach Samuel Pilka.
Because that's a page or a group.
There's a page.
It's a page. So it's Coach Samuel Pilka on Facebook.
Correct.
All right. Then I don't write it out. I think people can find it if they
Hmm.
look for it in the search bar. So can people find you anywhere else if they're interested in knowing more about you? Because I think
Actually, yeah.
happiness is a great topic. Do you have a YouTube channel maybe or something?
Um, I haven't, and I'm not really going into social media at the moment. Um, what I can say, I'm really happy to take on a couple people for coaching with me. If we connect and if we are good fit, I'll be absolutely delighted to pass all my wisdom to people and to keep them in a space where they can really discover themselves and keep them accountable and allow them to change their thinking really, because I'm attracted to the thinking. The conscious mind is where I'm finding myself strong, and yeah, saying something new. It's really what it takes to change our beliefs, to change our limiting beliefs. um, I had many of them. One of them was like, I don't deserve it. And I found out that it was actually a comment of my best friend when I was 10 years old, when I had my results in the primary school, my diploma with all these top marks. He said to me, they're not yours, you got them because your dad is the mayor of the town. And that was it. I was done forever. The decision was, I don't deserve it. And I didn't know it for many years. I was just, it was literally placed in my subconscious mind for future reference. And whenever a situation like this happened, that was there. And yeah, I've missed on many opportunities by by not
Well,
knowing.
I don't believe in missing opportunities. Something else happened instead.
That's true. I get that.
We're on
Uh,
our way. No matter what we do, we're still on our way. We just take the long road or the short road. That's what I think. But that's
yeah,
amazing. So
and
anyone who wants the free strategy conversation with Samuel, you have his email address here. Don't hesitate to contact him. Uh, I would do that if I were you. And so is it this week or for 2 weeks or 1 month you have this offer, or how does it work?
this is ongoing thing until I'm filled with with clients. So at the moment it's open, and as I said, it's
More,
not for everyone. They need to.
more slots are open.
Right.
Perfect. All right, it's been a pleasure, Samuel. I see the time here. It's 10 to 8 my time, so we have gone over 45 minutes.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure talking to you about happiness, and I also know your journey, and I know that you are a happy guy today. It's,
Thank you.
yeah, and I also remember the first time we met. That was pure pleasure. You were happy already back then, Samuel. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
seems that way. Okay, Lisa, thank you as well for invitation. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, and all of you out there, don't hesitate. Contact Sam for a free strategy session and see what miracles can happen from there. All right, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.